Good afternoon, preppers. Welcome to Goshen Prepping. I have a very serious question for you, and it's something you must answer and understand which category you fall in. Because when it comes to preppers, there's two types. There's the warrior prepper. This kind of prepper, I'm not saying they're out there for malicious activity and they're going to try to steal other people's preps and cause violence. I'm not saying that at all. But we find there's certain preppers out there as warriors. They always want to take the action of take an action. I'm going to fight. I have all these weapons. I'm well skilled in these weapons. I'm going to protect me and my family and my neighbors. And they're the warriors. And then the second kind of prepper is the gray man prepper. When we actually look at these preppers, they're usually kind of like more into the intelligence side. I'm not saying they couldn't handle themselves in a fight, but they're all about staying in the shadows, staying away from people. So I'm going to ask you, and we'll ask you again later in the video, which are you? Are you the warrior or are you the gray man? And knowing how to answer that is very important, because if you try to find yourself being the warrior, you still want to know some techniques about being the gray man. And if you're a gray man, you're still going to want to have some techniques about a warrior, but understand a lot of these comes into your personality, which you are. Now, both of them, and I want to put this across very clearly, both of these actually have a vital role when it comes to prepping, when it comes to, a crap hits the fan situation. We have some people who are the warriors, they're the straight out, flat out fighters, and we have some people who are the gray men, they're more about hiding and secrecy, etc. Think about this in World War II. Like, look at the French resistance. Truly, the French resistance had some warriors in there, but most of the people in the French resistance, besides bombing and everything, were all about staying in the shadows. They were the gray man, and they actually helped smuggle people across the border and get them out of the war-torn areas from the Nazis. Then who are the warriors? Again, we had some people in French resistance who were the warriors, but the warriors were like, for example, the United States Army, the British Army, what was left of the French Army coming in to actually reconquer the areas. Both had a vital role. In fact, when finally the armies made it into France, that's the first thing they did was met up with the French resistance, so they actually knew the intelligence of the area. So you can see when it comes to prepping and preparedness, there is a room for both. In fact, I would even recommend you really try to focus on one area, what actually meets your personality. If you get into a situation, and I tell you this all the time, don't let people know about your preps. I don't care if you're a warrior or if you're a gray man, letting people know about your preps, you're not a warrior nor a gray man, you're a victim. Because at that point, you're actually letting out the intelligence, because some warriors really have the mindset of like, yeah, good luck coming in my house and taking my preps from me. I'm armed to the teeth. I know how to, I agree with you. I'm with you on that. But you still don't let the cat out of the bag. You still don't show your cards. You still don't let people know what's going on, because that's simply just asking them to come in and actually have a fight. I know there's some warriors who want that fight, and I get that. Another fallacy, too, is walk softly and carry a big stick. There are certain situations when it comes to trying to police an area to having a big stick or a firearm to let people know, you need to back off. But unless you actually are well trained in that and you're actually ready to use it, that does not apply to you or me. You don't want to walk softly and carry a big stick. You want to make sure people don't know in a lot of those situations that you have a firearm in the first place. That's the whole reason why, by the way, we have concealed weapon permits. Like even in Michigan, which most of the parts of the state, you can actually have open carry. But you know what? We still have concealed weapons here, because you want to have it. So if your weapon's showing, that's simply just letting the cat out of the bag, and people will say, okay, if I actually want to mug this people, that guy right there has a gun. But if we actually know a big part of the population has concealed weapons, it will decrease the potential for attack. That's the gray man thinking there. Again, there's room for both of them. Actually coming in guns blazing is the warrior. Having more concealed is going to be the people who are watching out for them. Now, same thing, just like talking about you don't want to let people know where your preps are, you don't ever let somebody know you actually have either firearms, or especially if you have a concealed permit. Hey, guess what I got today, everybody? I got my concealed permit, and you post it on Facebook. Do you realize that you've completely just outdone the whole purpose of having the concealed permit? That's one of those things where you're just shaking my head. No, you need to be completely concealed. If you find yourself, you got your concealed permit and you want to let everybody know I've got a gun, you need to switch to the warrior side and train as the warrior side, because that gray man part of you, that's not the person you are. See how this fits in? When it comes to prepping and preparedness, we need to be able to actually really pick one side. And I'm not saying you have to stay with everything there, but you really need to actually find whatever is accustomed to your mentality. We have warriors. Warriors are great. They've actually fought the wars and led the front lines and taken care of business. But we also have gray men, the people who are actually more into intelligence. They've actually helped win wars as well, as far as doing things in the underground. And you know what? This dystopia that we're actually all fearing and preparing for, there is certainly room for both. But I want you to think about this, and I want you to put yourself into one of those other categories. Pick which one. You may be really good at both, but you still need to pick both of them, because you can't be a gray man carrying a giant rifle with you. It doesn't quite work that way. All right, comments below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this and see if there's actually anything you can add to this as well. And then even more so, I know this, if you're a gray man, you don't want to announce this, that's fine. But go ahead and tell me which you are. Are you more of a warrior, or are you more of a gray man? Thanks for watching.